Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today we're going to do the cabled stitch for this beautiful cabled blanket. And let me tell you a little bit about the yarn. We're using Karen 1 pound. I just have some yarn left over here to work a sample. And my hook is a size I from Furls, 5.5 millimeter. And the pattern is worked in multiples of 10 plus 4. And we're gonna get going here. My sample is gonna be 24 stitches then, 10 plus 10 plus 4. And we're gonna start off with a foundation half double crochet. I'm just gonna do a couple here and I'll get them all done. We're gonna chain 2. So yarn over and chain 2. We're gonna yarn over again. Then back into that first loop of the first chain here. We're gonna insert our hook, yarn over, bring it through. We have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and go through the first loop. That kind of is like making our chains, or yeah, I should say our foundational chain that we would normally make. And then right after that, we have the 3 loops here. We're going to yarn over and go through all 3. So that's like making a half double crochet. So now we're going to yarn over and do our next one. So the first 2 stitches that we skipped, that counts as one. And then the stitch we just did, that counts as a foundation half double crochet. So now we're going to do it again. Yarn over, we're going to go through the bottom stitch of the foundation half double crochet chain that we just made. So we're going to yarn over, go through the bottom loop, bring it through, yarn over, go through that first loop, which makes our chain stitch, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And we're just going to repeat doing this each one until we get to our foundational chain. The blanket that I've made is 144 chains, or I should say foundational half chains like this, and my sample is going to be 24. So I'm just going to keep working these until I have the 24, but let me straighten this out so you can kind of see here. Pull my yarn out. And the reason that we do this is it just, you don't have any big gaps along it and you can't pull out. So if you do happen to add a border onto this, this holds up really nicely to a border. So I'm going to do all 24. I'm going to meet you right back here, okay? Okay, I have all 24 stitches done. Now we're going to start in with row 1, okay? All right, you can see this, I should probably show you a little bit more. This is how this looks right now, okay? So now what we're going to do, row 1 is really simple yet. We're going to chain 1, and right in that very first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. And we're going to just work a single crochet in every single stitch across. So we can do that. This is all that we're doing in this row, is our single crochet row. So I'm going to work all of the single crochets. And I'm going to meet you on the other side, okay? That's all we're doing for this row is a single crochet. Okay, I'm just finishing row 1. I want to point out, here's our initial chain 2 that we skipped, and that became our first foundation half double crochet. So make sure that you count your first stitches. You should end up with your single crochet should be 24 stitches, the same as your foundation half double crochet. So make sure that you put a stitch. And you can also tell, like that this is, if it's laying here, you can tell that this is sticking out further. So there's 1 stitch here that you have to do. Okay, we're just going to stick our single crochet in right here. And now see how that rounds it out really nice and squares it off? And that's your 24th stitch. So this is the end of round 1. And then we're going to go on to round 2, okay? Okay, let's start with row 2. This one is a little bit, every other row is the harder row. Every other row is a single crochet row, so we can handle that. So row 2 is going to start with a little bit of a harder, but it's still not that hard. Let me break it down. We're going to chain 2, which is going to count as a half double crochet. Since that counts as a half double crochet, we do not work in this first stitch here. We're going to start I should say in the same stitch, we're going to start our half double crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to work 1 half double crochet, yarn over, go through both loops and yarn over, go through all 3, okay? Then we're going to be working a front post treble crochet. And in this particular row, we're going to be working in the single crochet row below. After this row, when we work our front post treble crochets, we'll be working in the previous rows front post treble crochet 2 rows below. Okay, so just for this row, we're going to be working in the single crochet around the post. So we're going to yarn over twice, and right here in this single crochet, we're going to go through here, go behind the post and in front of the next one, yarn over, bring the yarn through, bring it up a little bit, and then go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and yarn over, go through 2 loops. Okay, that's one done. We have another one to go, yarn over twice, and we're going to do the same thing. Go in this spot, go behind this post and in front of the next post, yarn over, bring it through, pull up just a little bit, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and yarn over, go through 2 loops. Okay, so now we're going to have 6 half double crochet, but we have to turn over. I'm going to yarn over, but we have to turn over this stitch and this stitch. These 2 single crochet we need to skip because we just worked around the front post. Okay, so I always turned it over and said, oh, 1, 2, we just worked 2, so we're going to skip 1, 2. So my next stitch goes in this stitch right here. So here we're going to go do, now we're going to do 6 half double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now we're going to work 2 front post treble crochet again. So yarn over twice, going to go through right this spot here, go under this post and in front of the next one, yarn over, bring it through, bring it up a little bit, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops and 2 loops, and we're going to do another one. Yarn over twice, and we're going to go into this spot here, behind this post and in front of the next one, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops, and yarn over through 2 loops. Okay, so in this sample, from this front post treble crochet to this one, I should say in the blanket, in whatever pattern you're doing, if you do a blanket, shawl, whatever it is, in this pattern, this chain 2 and this half double crochet, don't worry about that for now. But you can make this bigger or smaller if you wanted to by just increasing from here to here. Just continue repeating this on the row until you get to the end, and then in the end you'll do 2 to half double crochet. So that's just one little tip. As we're working each section, from here to here is 10 stitches. So we have 2 here, 2 here, and then the 6 half double crochet. So each section is 10 stitches, but then you have your 2 stitches on each end of your half double crochets. Okay, just a little tidbit for you, so that you can alter the size a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to yarn over. We're going to, remember, we just did our 2 front posts. Now we got to skip these 2 back here, 1, 2. Okay, and now what we're going to do is, I got to see where I am. Okay, I have to do another, I'm sorry, I have to do another 2 front post treble crochets. So I'm still I didn't have enough. I had to yarn over twice. I'm still going to skip those 2 right here. See that? Because I still have to work around this one here. So it's still good to know exactly which one you're having to work on. So here's our first one. Yarn over twice. And we're going to the next stitch. Okay, and now I need to do 6 half double crochet, but I've just done 4 front post treble crochets, so I want to make sure I skip 4 in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? My fingers here. That's what I would always do as I'm crocheting it here. I just keep my fingers here. I've counted it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I know that that's my stitch right here. Yarn over, and I'm going to do my 6 half double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to yarn over twice and do 2 front post treble crochet and 1 in the next one. Now we got to turn it over and look. There's a stitch here and a stitch here, so we make sure we skip those. And then I have to end with 2 half double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. So this is the end of row 2. The next row, row 3, is just a single crochet. So for row 3, I'm just going to work the single crochet because I had worked it below here, so we won't take up the filming space to work the next row. So row 2 is done, row 3 is a single crochet, and I'm going to come right back and work number 4, okay? Okay, here we go. I have row 3, my single crochet is done, and then row 4, we're going to do chain 2, that counts as our first half double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochet. So yarn over, and in the first stitch right here, I'm going to do 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to do 2 front post treble crochet, yarn over twice. Now remember I mentioned earlier, now this row was worked in the single crochet. Now we're going to be working in around the post of the front post treble crochet that we had done in row 2. Okay, so let's work the first one. So here we go. Here's 1, and then yarn over twice, 2. Oops, there. Didn't go through both loops, okay? And the next part we're going to do 4 half double crochets. So I'm going to make sure 1, 2, there's my 2 stitches. This is my stitch right here. So we're going to go through here and we're going to do 4 half double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, if you'll notice, you're going to think, well, gosh, now I'm going to do 2 front post treble crochet again. And yes, you're like 2 stitches away from that. But what we're going to do is we're going to work them, and we're going to start to pull these stitches. I have a sample here worked. And you're going to start to pull these stitches. This is going this way. You're going to start pulling these stitches out. Okay, so we're kind of at this point here, we're going to pull them this way. So here we go. Just follow what, if it's, you know, we did our 4 half double crochet. So if it says to do the front post, it's okay. Trust the process. We're going to yarn over, pull up a little bit, go through 2 loops, 2 loops, and 2 loops, and 1 more. Yarn over twice, go around that post, pull up a little bit, go through 2 loops, 2 loops, and 2 loops. Then we're going to work 2 half double crochet. So I always would turn it over. 1, 2. There's to the 2 stitches that count for my 2 front post treble crochets. So right in this stitch is my first half double crochet. And then we're going to work another one. And now we're going to do 2 front post treble crochets again. Here's 1, almost done. Yarn's tangling up. And then let's do another one. Okay, then we're going to do 4 half post double crochets. So now my stitches are kind of over here. 1, 2, going to miss those. Here's my next one, my next stitch I put. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to do 2 front post treble crochet. We're going to pull this over, pull up a little bit, yarn over twice, okay, now we're have 1, 2, there's 2 back there that we don't worry about, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our 2 half double crochet, and then in the very last stitch we're going to do 1 half double crochet. Okay, so this is the end of row 4, and we're starting to pull this way, and this is starting to pull this way. And again, when we look at the sample, here's our starting rows, and we're right here. We're starting to pull this way, and we're starting to pull that way. So now you can see how this is starting to go. I'll put this actually on top this way. You see this? How that's starting to roll? This is going that way, this is going this way. Hopefully this makes sense which way we're going. Now the next row is the single crochet. I'm going to do the single crochet, and then we're going to return with row 6. Okay, here we are with row 6. We're going to chain 2, and then now we're going to work 3 half double crochet. So here we go. Here's 1, 2, my yarn ball was coming, and 3. Okay, now we're going to do 2 front post treble crochet. So we're going to yarn over twice, and here we go around. We got to go down and around our last front post treble crochet from 2 rows below now, and then 1 more. Okay, we have that done. Now I'm going to look behind. We're going to skip these 2 stitches because we just did those. And the next 2 stitches, we're going to do a half double crochet in the next 2. 1, 2, and now we're going to do 2 front post treble crochet, yarn over twice, reach all the way over to here. It's kind of a stretch, pull up a little bit, and then do your yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. And then yarn over twice and do another one in the next stitch. Okay, and then we got to look from behind, and we got to look here. 1, 2, there's our 2 stitches that are going to count for these 2 front post treble crochet. And now we're going to work 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's how we're looking now, and then we're going to do 2 front post treble crochets. There's 1, and here's the next. And then we're going to look behind. 1, 2. So we're going to put 2 half double crochets, 1 here, 1 here, and then our 2 front post treble crochets. Yarn over, pull up a little. Okay, and then we got to turn it over. 1, 2, and now we should have 4 left. 4 stitches, and we're going to do 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's how we're looking now. See how that's really starting to take shape? So the next row is single crochet. So I'm going to do my row 7 single crochet, and I'm going to meet you back here with row 8. Okay, let's do row 8. We're going to chain 2, and now we're going to do 4 half double crochet. So here we go with our first one. And now we're going to do 4 front post treble crochets. So now don't worry about this space right here. We're going to be bringing these, all of these together. So we're going to work 4 front post treble crochet. So here's 1. As long as we count those stitches in back, so we have our stitch count right yet, we should still be at 24 stitches every single row for this sample. And I do count, because you can get off if you skip the wrong amount behind these stitches. That's where I found if I was off, I miscounted. I skipped a stitch or I'd add a stitch. And that way you can catch it before you get too far down the lane, because you'll notice it starts to look wonky. So here's how this looks right now. Okay. I'm going to turn this over. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 4 I'm going to skip. Now I'm going to do 6 half double crochet. So right here's my first stitch where I had my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to do 4 front post treble crochet again. Yarn over twice. Pull it up a little bit. 2. 3. 4. Now we got to turn it over. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to move my hand here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can tell I make sure that I'm doing it right. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to end with 5 half double crochet. So run right here is my stitch. I have my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right here is really all you need to know for this pattern. You have just pretty much done the whole pattern. I'm going to do another row of single crochet for row 9. When we get to row 10, we're going to repeat row 8, and then we're going to start working back down. It's going to be row 8, a single crochet, row 7, or I should say 6, a single crochet, row 4, a single crochet row, and then row 2. And then we're going to work our way back up all the way to row, would be 17. And then you just keep repeating. You keep going back and forth to create this pattern where it goes out and where it goes in. So right here, see, we're halfway. This is the whole pattern done, but we're halfway. So we brought it, I have this upside down. No, I don't. I have this one upside down. Good heavens. I brought this out right here and in right here. And now I have to work one more of the same row 8 that we just did. And now I'm going to start bringing this in and bringing this back out. Okay. And that's all it is. We're just going to work it back down opposite of what we just worked up. So if you can do it to this point, we can finish this. So I'm going to do row 9, which is a single crochet row. And I'll meet you back here with row 10. Okay, let's roll with row 10, which is a repeat of row 8. We just did row 8, so we're going to do it again. So chain 2, and then 4 half double crochet. So here's 1. Oops, struggler. 2, 3, 4. I said 4. I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my chain 2. Pardon me. Now I got to yarn over twice. And we're going to do our 4 front post treble crochet. Sometimes this all squunches up as you work on it. Just because I hold it and pull it. Yarn over twice. And you can change yarn color with this. As you can see in that blanket that I had made, it's an ombre, so it changed it all on its own. It was lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4. That way all I had to do is worry about my stitches. We got 6 half double crochet now. It was pretty nice, and I loved the look of it in the end. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that doesn't look right. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay, that is right. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We skipped our 4. So now we're going to do our 4 front post treble crochet. And another one. And one more. Then we're going to turn it over and count our 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we do our 5 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have row 10 done. Row 11 is going to be a row of single crochet, and I'll meet you back for row 12. Okay, now we're on to row 12, and we're going to repeat row 6. So for row 6, we do our 2 chains, and then we do our, what do we have? 3 half double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work 2 front post treble crochet, 2 half double crochet. So here's our first front post treble crochet. Turn it over and take a look. 1, 2. So this is where my half double crochet goes. And then we're going to work 2 more front post treble crochet. Okay, then we turn it over and got to look again. 1, 2, that's where we got to be looking. And we have, if I can look, 2, 2, 2, 4. 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make sure that we skip those 2. All right, 2 front post treble crochet. We're going to be pulling this over now, right? So we have 2 of those. We pull up just a little bit so it's not all tight and scrunchy. And then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do our 2 half double crochet, 2 front post double crochet, we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we should have 4 half double crochet to end with, and a yarn wad. 3, Okay, so row 12 is done. This is how we're looking now. My next row is going to be my, here we are, we're almost there, we're almost to the finish line. Next row is my single crochet. Then I'm going to meet you back here with row 14. Okay, row 14 is a repeat of row 4. So we're going to do our 2 half double crochets. Okay, and then we have 2 more half double crochets. So here's 1 and 2. Then we're going to work 2 front post treble crochet. So here's our first one. Whoopsies, I almost went over the same one. 2. Then we gotta turn it over. 1, 2, those are the 2 I skipped. And then I'm going to work 4 half double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 front post treble crochet. Okay, now we're going to look in the back again. And so sometimes you want to go right directly, but we got to remember which way we pull them. So it's 1, 2. Then we're going to do 2 front post, or 2 half double crochet, pardon me. And then 2 front post half double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do 4 half double crochet. So we skip those 2. This is my one right here I start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 front post treble crochet. Okay. And then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then we have our 2 half double crochet that finishes out our pattern repeat for this row, and then we have 1 half double crochet yet in that last stitch. And then we have row, what did I say that was? 14 done. Row 15 is a single crochet, then we have 1 more repeat row to go and a single crochet. So I'll meet you back here with row 16. Okay, we're up to 16. Chain 2, and then we're going to do 1 half double crochet right there. And then we're going to do 2 front post treble crochets. So they're bringing all of this out to its widest point again on the edges and to its narrowest point in the middle. And then we're going to skip these 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 6 half double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to yarn over twice. We have 2 front post treble crochet. Kind of squinchy here. 2. Okay, and then the repeat of the pattern is to do 2 more front post treble crochet, and then 6 half double crochet and 2 more front post treble crochet. So we're going to skip all of those half double crochets right here, because this is all front post treble crochet. But now we're going to turn it over and we're going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my fingers where I got to work. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do 6 half double crochet. 4, 5, 6. 2 front post treble crochet. We have these 2 hanging out here yet. Okay, and then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2. So we just have, I got to look here again. Skip 2. Did I skip too many? Skip 2. Look at this. I skipped 3. 1, 2, 3. Because as I'm looking at it, I needed to end with 2 half double crochet. 1, okay? So right here at the very beginning, I skipped 3. I'm going to have to pull it out to here, and my first stitch is going to be right here. So let's do that together. Here we go. It's probably good I made a mistake, because you will have them. I did. Ta-da! Okay, so we're back at our 2 front post treble crochet. So 1, 2. Here is where I'm supposed to start. So now we have 6 half double crochet. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try this again. 2 front post treble crochet. 1. Yarn over twice. 2. Okay, now we got to repeat that pattern. 2 front post treble crochet. And then we got to make sure we skip just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do 6 half double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try this again. Okay, 2 front post treble crochet. There's 1. Let's see if I can get this right this time. Skip 2. Oh, look at that. I have 2 stitches left. Ta-da! So that can happen. And that's how you fix it too. Okay, so that's how you fix it if you make a mistake. So this is up to row 16. Row 17 is just a row of single crochet. And I have row 17, this sample here, with row 17 done. Okay, so this is how this looks. It's a kind of a nice little square. You're going to continue this pattern however long you want your blanket. And of course, continue the pattern. This is always the ends right here. But the center here, the centerpiece, is what's really continued all the way throughout those sections of 10. I hope that you like this pattern and are successful at it. It's a little bit challenging. It's more of an intermediate pattern, but it is absolutely doable. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. The free pattern is on patternprincess.com. Make sure you come and check us out. Take care and enjoy your crochet time.